Welcome into another episode of Ravens Reports, man. It's your guy Noah here with For the Flock, as always, bringing you guys our top 5 news reports and storylines coming out of our Baltimore Ravens today, man. This episode is brought to us by Rocket Money. A little bit more on them later. Huge shout out to them for sponsoring today's content. But we got a lot to talk about, but let's go ahead and start off with the very unsettling, not good Baltimore Ravens news. We're kind of all on our toes right now. There's so many different reports and a lot of confusion out there right now, but let's talk about what we've seen from the actual reports. One of the initial reports was from Jamison Hensley, who's a reporter for ESPN. He says, Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson left Wednesday's practice early with what appeared to be a right wrist/hand injury. Another report came out that he was flexing his wrist after falling down to the ground, getting knocked down. Jamison Hensley says about 90 minutes into practice, Jackson got knocked down. He stayed out for a few plays before heading into the facility. Now, Cordell Woodland also came out and said that a few plays after he got knocked down and was seen, clutching his right wrist, his throwing arm, which is obviously very important for quarterbacks, that his passes were off. That he short hopped an easy pass to the flat to an open Keaton Mitchell, and he threw like a duck, wounded duck, that fluttered all over the place for a completion down the sideline to LeJontay Wester, but it didn't look good. Lamar Jackson, after missing that throw to Keaton Mitchell, threw his wristband down, and he left practice early. He was seen on the sideline talking to former general manager Ozzie Newsome and the strength and conditioning coach, as well as the doctors walking behind Lamar Jackson into the locker room. Now, a lot of reports were saying about this wrist injury, this wrist and hand thing that he was flexing, and then a Baltimore Ravens spokesman came out to the reporters, to the media, and said that he just got his foot stepped on. He's fine. Is that true? Is that accurate? I'm not sure, but it seems really weird that there was multiple reports about a hand and wrist and him flexing it, and some bad throws after that, and then now it's just a foot, a stepped on foot. Seems weird to me. I know for a fact that even if it was a wrist/arm thing that he has to deal with, and even if he's okay, that the Baltimore Ravens would not want other teams knowing about a particular area of his body being injured for teams to target that area. Example, you don't want teams to know about a right arm wrist irritation and have them swatting at that hand to try to knock him out of the game. Jesse Reback, one of the best reporters in the game, works for The Athletic. He says, Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson left practice about 40 minutes early with strength and conditioning coach Scott Elliott next to him and team doctors trailing. Jackson got knocked down making a throw. He stayed in for a few plays, but appeared to be flexing his hand/wrist. So now multiple reports from very reputable reporters that he was seen flexing that right wrist/hand. Now, could his hand have gotten stepped on? Could have been a finger thing? Could it have been a number of things? Sure. But obviously, having your anything on your throwing arm for a quarterback is very concerning. So it's something that we definitely want to keep our eye on. We'll see if he practices tomorrow, if he practices in full.
Yeah, obviously, at the time, I guess I didn't really notice it. I was in running the plays and stuff. Obviously, I noticed he wasn't there, but didn't know what was going on. But I was thinking he's just probably resting his arm, something like that. But obviously, we keep him in our prayers and everything. He's doing great and all that stuff. But I'm sure, Lamar being Lamar, he'll be back sooner before we know it.
We'll have a better idea whenever we actually get to see what happens, right? We can look at these reports, but if Lamar Jackson isn't practicing or isn't practicing in full in days to come, that's obviously more than his foot just getting stepped on and being a little bit uncomfortable. So I know, not the report that we wanted to hear, and if you guys are watching, man, all my For the Flock family that tunes in, man, all the love and support, man, you guys show to the channel. I love you guys. As you can see, we're not in our normal studio. We're actually in the process of moving right now, and staying with my in-laws. Got the studio set up in the basement here before we move into the house we just bought, and we're gonna rebuild that studio, and we'll actually be closer, about an hour away from Baltimore, so be able to catch more of the live games and be in the area again. We're moving from North Carolina, so just a little update there. Obviously not the report we wanted to hear, like the first, video back in a few days since we've done the move, is kind of some negative news, but we'll have more posted. I'm hoping that it's nothing major. Let's just give a prayer to Lamar Jackson and, keep up the optimism and not try to jump to conclusions. Just didn't like the mixed reporting and then the spokesman coming out saying, hey, he's fine, just a foot got stepped on, whenever there was obviously multiple people seeing something about his wrist. So I just want to give a huge thank you to Rocket Money for sponsoring today's video. Man, as you guys know, as Baltimore Ravens fans, NFL fans, sports fans in general, a lot of times you have to have quite the amount of subscriptions to watch a game. Man, all of a sudden you got the Thursday night game or the Monday night game, it's only on an exclusive provider, and then you got to sign up for a subscription or a free trial. You guys know how it is, and then before you know it, you got a bunch of subscriptions and stuff that you're not even aware about. I know I have NFL Plus, ESPN things, all kinds of different subscriptions that I've had that I've signed up for free trials and then forgot about them, and you forget to cancel, and then before you know it, you're charged. So this is where Rocket Money comes in and helps out big time. Rocket Money is an all-in-one personal finance app that helps you cancel subscriptions, lower your bills, and manage your money better. There's many things you can do with Rocket Money to help you with your finances, but one of my favorite things is that feature that we just talked about to cancel unwanted subscriptions. Once you connect your bank account, Rocket Money identifies all the subscriptions in a single list. From there, you can select the ones you don't want anymore, and Rocket Money may be able to help you cancel with just a few taps. Rocket Money can also help you to lower your bills. They'll automatically scan your bills to find savings with just a couple of taps. Rocket Money can help negotiate your bills for you, from internet service to cable and phone bills. No need to worry about customer service calls. Just let the app's negotiators go to work for you and try to get the best possible rate. You can also use Rocket Money to just save money, which that extra money could go towards your favorite Ravens gear, jerseys, tickets, man. Put it in your savings. It can go a long way. So Rocket Money is definitely something worth looking into, but lucky for you guys, they hooked it up for us. Go to rocketmoney.com/flock to get started for free. Take control of your finances today, guys. Go check it out. Link will be in the description. We'll have it up on the screen as well for you guys. But again, huge thank you to Rocket Money for sponsoring today's video. At number 2, let's go ahead and dive into some positive news. One player, 6th-round draft pick, who's been turning heads for the Baltimore Ravens and is helping to build some depth and some explosion in the pass rush department of this defensive line, is Aeneas Peebles. He's got the nickname Fub Peebles. It's reported he's been on fire. Yesterday blew up the first team offensive line for a tackle for loss on Justice Hill. Defensive lineman coach Dennis Johnson said he's one of the most explosive defensive linemen he's ever coached. You also have the raving reports plus what we're seeing on film from the explosive pass rusher Mike Green. So 2 explosive pass rushers, one on the interior, one on the edge, brought into the same draft class, plus Odafe Owe in the contract year, the veteran presence of Kyle Van Noy, the emergence of guys like Tavius Robinson and Adisa Isaac, and you get really excited about this pass rush, man. At number 3, another guy that's been, really turning heads and that I'm really fired up about, and one of the most underrated players on the Baltimore Ravens, I personally think he is, of how talented he is Travis Jones. Take a listen to what Dennis Johnson, the defensive line coach, had to say about Travis Jones.
Development of Travis Jones.
I expect Travis to be the best player on the field whenever he's on the field in general, and I think that Travis expects that for himself, just to be more dominant and be more consistent with being dominant. Last year, had some injuries up and down, but really looking for this year for him just to really go out there, from the start to the finish, and just be the powerful run-stopping
development of
Travis Jones, like we talked about before, was dominant before he hurt his ankle early in the season. He would not practice all throughout the week, pain management, wrap it up real good, then go out there on Sunday and play on a gimpy ankle, and still played really good football. Now he's fully healthy, so I think Travis Jones has a potential of being, like Dennis Johnson said, being one of the best defensive tackles on the field in the league this season. At number 4, another guy that's on the back end of that roster, fighting for a roster spot. He was actually he's a rookie as well, undrafted free agent, is Jay Higgins. Jay Higgins was an absolute beast in college football, had monstrous production, has been a great linebacker all the way through high school into college. And he went undrafted because of his combine, of his measurables. Not the biggest, strongest guy in the world. Doesn't necessarily look like, the most rocked up linebacker, but who cares if your production and your play speed, your recognition, and you're making plays, you're making tackles for loss, you're getting interceptions, man. That's what he did in college, and that's what you're seeing in training camp. Plus, he's already picked off a pass here in preseason through 2 games and has been very disruptive, making plays. Here's what defensive coordinator Zach Orr had to say on this linebacker, who I think is going to make this 53-man roster.
He's a real instinctive player, man. He's real instinctive. High football IQ. He's a guy that's it's rare nowadays. Like, a lot of linebackers now, they got moved to linebacker late in college, or his first time playing a position was in college. He's been a linebacker basically his whole life, so he understands how to read linemen, read pools, understands zone drops, man drops, spacing in coverage. That's underrated for the linebacker position. So he was a great player in college. I mean, his resume speaks for itself. Should have been drafted, but, measurables probably knocked him down. But, he's definitely athletic enough, fast enough to play at this level. And you combine that with his IQ and playmaking ability. I mean, he keeps it going. There's no reason why he shouldn't play a long time in this league. And he works at it, man. He works hard. Just very pleased with him.
At number 5, John Harbaugh talked about Derrick Henry, baby. Derrick Henry, future Hall of Famer, the same backfield as future Hall of Famer Lamar Jackson, the best dual-threat quarterback in NFL history. He's got the records, he's got the numbers, and he's just getting started. Like he said earlier in this offseason, he's only 28 years old. But it's nice to see him with that running mate there with Derrick Henry. And John Harbaugh had a kind of a funny quote on the running back that was just extended. Here's what John Harbaugh had to say.
I mean, that's a tough question for, I'm kind of haven't done my stack on that yet, but I can, I guess. I'm kind of a Jim Brown guy. I'd probably put Jim Brown at the top for me. Sanders and who else? Who else would be in that list? Walter Payton. Oh my gosh, Walter Payton. How do you do it? Dickerson. How do you do it? There's so many greats, but in my mind, I think Derrick Henry is in that category. I put him in that category with those guys, and I know he still feels like he's got a ton to prove, and I want him to prove a ton because he's with the Ravens, So I think it's time for him to have. He has a long way to go in my mind, He's got a lot of work to do. Okay. I'm going to let him know that. So let's get some work done here. Let's get some yards stacked up over the next few years, okay? Then he'll be the very best.
Some other notes as TJ Tampa continues to make plays. He had a nice practice today with 2 interceptions, both on Cooper Rush. It's also reported Lamar Jackson, even before the falling on the ground and having this injury scare, he was not having a sharp practice, was very sloppy today. I don't know. There might have been more than what is reported. Okay, so let's just leave it at that. But also Mike Green the other day had a pick 6 on Cooper Rush. Mike Green, man, looks really good in the preseason. Not only the pressure and the pass rushing, but his prowess as a run defender, blowing up tight ends, setting the edge, being very physical. This guy is going to find his way on the field more and more throughout the year. I think, they're going to give a lot of the reps early to, obviously Van Noy, Owe, Tavius Robinson has earned more playing time, but I think as the year goes on, you're going to see more and more of Mike Green getting on the field as he warms up there, the rookie. But speaking of Tavius Robinson, it's he wears the same number as Jarrett Johnson, Ravens legend, big physical edge defender, plays like a Raven, tough, gritty, push the pocket, just was relentless, high motor pass rusher, set the edge well. And it reminds me a lot of Tavius. Tavius said he's been studying Jarrett Johnson. And Jarrett Johnson actually came to Ravens practice to watch some tape with Tavius. And he was working with him after practice, which is really cool to see. Came and visited, man. So good to see Tavius Robinson. He's one of the favorites players, loved by the coaching staff with the way he works. Doesn't miss meetings, practices, lifting sessions. He's always there, always on time, grinding. Great work ethic for the third year outside linebacker looking to make a big jump. All right, guys, so let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below, man. Smash the like button if you got any value out of today's content. Thank you all for tuning in, man. I love you guys. Appreciate y'all, and we'll see you in the next video.
Ray, when he wasn't looking, he ran me over.